Hey guys, Ghazzy TV here with another build guide video for Path of Exile. And in this one, I want to talk about the zombie strength stacking Baron build of all things. Now, I wanted to get back into strength stacking, so we made a PUB for both low budget and medium budget. And the good thing is that the medium budget is very, very cheap. The problem I have with this build is that the medium budget does about 8.5 million. You can actually very easily buy something like this for a divine, which is very cheap, or at least one of them for 100 chaos. It's super cheap. And that'll push the build up to like 9 to 10 million DPS in the medium budget. And it's still the most expensive piece that I've got, which can be an Instrumentus, but you'd rather have something like this, isn't really that expensive. And that's because basically nobody's played this build. I bought mine for 13. They go for 10 and 12, but there's only 3 in the market. The build's been fun. It has been fun. The problem is it works fine on low budget. It works fine on medium budget. And you get some reasonable defenses, but that's been the biggest problem. But once you get Veterans Awareness, you go up pretty high in defenses, and that's how we're going to run it, which is how I design the PUBs. The problem is this is a strength stacking PUB. And as soon as you go into the high budget, you're no longer strength stacking, and you're going CI. And it's a very expensive leap. So you have a really cheap medium budget build, and then into an extremely expensive high budget. And I couldn't really find a way to bridge this gap in a better way. And that's why I'm not going to make a written guide on this. The high budget, for those of you who are going to try this out, there are a couple things to point out. One, the DPS is inaccurate because the DPS is way higher than this. First off, you can pop in Vol Skeletons, that's 55 million. Second thing is our trigger has Assassin Mark, and then we are running vulnerability on the AG. And then we have Spectres. And the problem with Spectres in PUB is this. Right now, it's showing Arena Master's Presence. If I change this to Demon Harpy, my DPS goes down. So the Demon Harpy is not even included in the list of the damage output. This will increase the DPS a little bit as well. Carnage Chieftain I've set to 1 charge only, which will be more for the zombies, less for the skellies. And then we have last one is Pale Seraphim, which will actually increase the damage output, and therefore it's not being included when I change it back to Arena Master. Now we're doing 41 instead of 42. So in reality, you are doing more damage than what the PUBs are showing. But I think that the leap between low to medium is fine, and the leap between medium to high is just way too much for this to be a written guide. I couldn't bridge the gap. And first off, you have a strength stacking build, and suddenly you're scrapping pretty much everything that makes your build a strength stacking zombie build. Now, there are ways to make strength stacking CI builds by going into Ghost Reaver, or having this through the tattoos in the current state of the league. You can make the build extremely tanky. But the other problem that I have yet to mention is that survivability of your minions is a bit of a problem. Now, killing endgame pinnacle bosses is not a big problem with the low and medium budget version, but versus harder juiced high tier red maps, your minions are going to start dying. I've had situations where I've lost a couple zombies here and there, and my zombies in game right now, that's level 27. They're sitting on 21,000 HP. And if I look at the medium budget PUB, you can go to calculation tab and go to your zombies, and you can see that their EHP is not that great. They actually have, well, they're lower level than what I have right now, but in this case, they would have 84,000 max taken hit and 21,000 for chaos, but 80,000 on elemental, but only 19,000 on physical. So I try to save this when it comes to the higher budget version, where I would add a ton more defensive stats for them, but it's not that much more. They got less than 50% more increase of less than double their EHP in terms of defensive stats with Chaos and Fire, Lightning Cold, but also on their physical. But I think that even with this and the block chance, there might be a risk that these guys die. And if that's the case, the solution, I don't know. I don't know what else you could do to make them survive. So if you do decide to play this, keep in mind that they might have survivability problems. I don't think it's that big of a problem to think about right now, because there are ways to fix that, such as smacking in perfect rolls on some of these modifiers and whatnot, and just keeping track of them and convocating them. But in reality, I think it's important to keep track of it and have it said. when it comes to a build like this. It is using a regular minion helmet, +2 in the high budget. I think a +1 would be fine to get started. But again, I think that there's a lot of different approaches to this build, and I know there's other guide creators who made other versions of it. I just wanted to get back into the strength stacking version of the zombie build. So instead of just going too much into it and going through the POBs, I'm just gonna leave a links to the current iteration at the time of the recording of this video. The POB links in the descriptions. I'm not going to spend any effort on updating this. I'm not going to be making a written guide for this at the current time. But for those of you who really want to try this out and are like me and wanted to play this just to see how it feels, you have the POBs in the descriptions. And that's all I have for you today. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe for more content. I'll catch you guys in the next one. So till then, stay safe. Keep rocking.